Can't believe I didn't download the wheat transfer file with James's audio before the link expired. I know that his computer can only have a single file at any given time, and he's already deleted his recording to enjoy his favourite video of a street vendor with no arms making a burger using his thighs. God, what we have is my side of the conversation. Short of a Christmas miracle, there'll be no episode this week. Wait, what's that?
Merry Christmas.
Santa Claus!
I heard your prayers, Gareth.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a prayer.
And while I don't have James's deadpan delivery, searing political insight, and love of laughing at completely destitute people just trying to simply survive, I think with a bit of Christmas magic, I can fill in on the second mic and try to recreate your podcast magic.
Thanks, Santa. What will we talk about first?
Why not that very naughty boy, Eoin Hayes?
Obviously, you have to talk about Eoin Hayes, like some more. But there was this tweet that I wanted to reference, which I thought was one of the funniest, like, just the kind of tightrope that these guys think that they're deftly walking, okay? Cian O'Callaghan insists, this is from Gavin Riley, Cian O'Callaghan insists the Soc Dems are interested in going into government. Himself, Gary Gannon and Jennifer Whitmore are its negotiating team. But they say it isn't surprised that the party is not at the top of the call list of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, given the demands the Soc Dems will have. Fuck you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yeah, no, we will like completely prostrate ourselves to these, parties who have been destroying the country for longer than I've been alive. But it's no surprise they don't want to talk to us because we're so fucking radical. Like,
Suck it to them, Gareth.
But the Independent frames it: suspended Social Democrats TD Eoin Hayes lost out on almost €300,000 by ditching shares in companies that supply Israeli military. So their argument is, like, actually he made a loss because he could have gotten a lot more money for that. It's like, it was like, so actually he made a sacrifice. It was like, you're sick. And then, like, even before that, like, he obviously shouldn't have had them to begin with. But even leaving Israel aside, like, having shares in a company that's owned by Peter Thiel makes you a bad person. Okay?
You don't have to tell me. I have a list with both of their names on it.
And he worked for him, and he liked working for him. And we read out the headline from a previous article where he came back to try and bring the innovations of Silicon Valley to fucking all these spud-munching, fucking thick forehead troglodytes on the, you know? Actually, let's read his apology just to have it correct. Let's not get it twisted here.
I'm known for reading lists, but this is a lot of reading.
Oh my! Look at Eoin Hayes TD, engineer, small business owner, social democrat. Fuck asshole.
I consider myself a small business owner. I don't see what's so funny about this. I'm on my knees. Ho 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 ho.
Oh yeah, there was another thing he said which was funny. He claimed basically, you know, the pitch for him was like, you need someone like you representing you in the Dáil. You know, somebody who's sensible, somebody who's struggling. And he just goes like me, like a renter. And then they were like, you got €200,000 off of that. And you're like telling me you're a fucking renter. Not to mention he did the GoFundMe as well to raise funds. To raise $9,000 worth of campaign funds, he did a GoFundMe. And he had €200,000.
GoFundMe? What about go fuck yourself?
But yeah, he kind of goes, oh yeah, there's no excuse for it. But then here's 3 different excuses for it. Here we go. Sorry, Gavin Riley has it. Thank you, Gavin. We love Gavin in this podcast, folks. Come on the pod, Gavin. Statement tonight from Eoin Hayes TD. So here's the full statement. As someone who cares deeply about accountability in government,
Excuse me?
It is only right that I hold myself to the same standard. I made a mistake. It wasn't intentional, but nonetheless I failed to provide accurate information regarding the exact date on which I divested my shares. The public has every right to expect their representatives provide honest and precise information, especially when questioned by the press. I let myself and my party down. Da, 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 da. I want to reiterate that I worked at this company almost a decade ago, and to my knowledge, the company only had any contracts with the Israeli military this year. Okay. I also want to clarify that while I disposed of the shares in July 2024, I had sought to do much earlier, but administrative barriers delayed the process. I want to additionally clarify that while I drafted, signed, and submitted a form on 26th of July 2024 disclosing my divestment of the shares, which email correspondence substantiates, I mistyped the date on the form as 26th of June 2024. Oh no! So it's 2 letters. It could happen to anybody, you know? That's why, like, he very carefully did it so that it could very easily have happened to anybody, you know?
That's why you should always check twice. Even though he's obviously lying. Ho ho ho, allegedly. This is not actionable, ho 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 ho.
And then it works for Gavin because actually he follows up with a little comment going, Virgin Media News
James's favorite channel
has seen documents to substantiate this. So he's on the ball. Gavin's like, no, actually, like, I have seen a piece of paper that told me that he didn't actually lie. He's a tech guy. He's smart. So we have to believe that actually he's capable of planning a devious thing like this. June, July, you know, hey, it could happen. I'm deeply humbled and edified by the level of support from many constituents who have emailed and messaged me today, encouraging me to continue with the important work of representing them. None of them will go on the record, I'm willing to bet, but that's it. I recognize that my judgment is rightly under scrutiny. I will work hard in the coming months to restore any lost trust with my constituents. I will continue to be a staunch advocate for the Palestinian people. I will continue to do that. You haven't done that, so you can't continue to do something that you haven't done. And I intend to work with all I have to advocate for the people of Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, and Syria against the aggression and war crimes of Netanyahu and his government. When the Dáil resumes on the 18th of December, I will take my seat as an independent. I hope to earn back the trust of the Social Democrats and will work hard to do so. Do we need to finish the rest of this? I'm sorry, who gives a shit? Blah, blah, blah. Do you think that the Soc Dems will have him back?
I believe so. They're desperate. Ho, ho, ho.
This is funny as well. There's this other fucking psycho called Conor McQuaid online. And so Paul Murphy, he's one of Paul Murphy's reply guys. So Paul Murphy tweets out, "This is very serious. He profited from genocide and misled the public about when he sold these shares." Conor McQuaid goes, "Looking forward to @Palintir Tech asking Paul to explain how their AI software is genocidal in court."
Got him.
Have you seen, what's Ireland's response to Eoin Hayes? What has it been?
I can only assume it's intolerable.
Seems a massive overreaction, says Difficult Set. The real problem is that he lied. The rest of it would have disappeared in a day or two. Ugh, that's a gross thing to say.
Yes, the only bad thing was the lie, not the AI software killing Palestinians that he profited from. Oh, ho, ho. Oh.
I literally searched for a Reddit post for a TLDR explaining what the problem was, because not a single news article spelled out what the rules were, how they were broken, or the significance of the offence. I'm regularly outraged with the behaviour of politicians in this country, but, like, it's completely normal to get shares as an employee of a company. Obviously not all companies do it, but it's fairly common with US multinationals. I guess what I want to know is, what was his intent with the original declaration? But, like, I don't think he's worked for Palintir for, like, 10 years. Like, he hasn't worked for them for, like, ages, as far as I'm aware. So, like, they're like, yeah, he just got shares from his company that he retained from, like, an incredibly evil man who he also clearly has some admiration for.
Exactly. Peter Thiel. Somebody whose boyfriend died under mysterious circumstances.
It is the way that rich people see their kids as well. Like, Zainab sent me this clip of Elon Musk, like, coaching his kid to say, like, we need Trump to come in and fix America. And it's like, he's clearly doing that because it'll piss off Grimes, you know? And then he's got like 12 kids and like he kind of just doesn't seem very present in any of their lives if, you know, you're to believe what his daughter was saying, he's the daughter who he's like, they killed my son, that fucking where he's dead naming his daughter.
I know I'm the last one to talk about weird relationships with children, but yes, I have to agree. It's not good. They're really fucked up.
Actually, while we're talking about Elon Musk, I just wanted to say to the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, is some straggling notes and to-do lists that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info where there. I do apologize for any strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the US has the number one most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly 42nd in life expectancy. United is the indecipherable largest company in the US by market cap because behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but has our life expectancy? No. The reality is these indecipherable have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed, e.g. Rosenthal, Moore, don't know who they are, decades ago, and the problems simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I'm the first to face it with such brutal honesty. He loves Musk, so I don't know why, I love it. I'm presuming that when he says Moore in those brackets, he's talking about Michael Moore.
Yes, Michael Moore gets a mention in a killer's manifesto for his 2007 documentary Sicko about the U.S. healthcare system. Michael Moore. Now there's another bearded fat man that young people outgrow. Santa, you bitch.
I also love in his manifesto the way he goes, look, I ain't some book guy. I don't pretend to know all the answers. I just think that guy had to die. All right. I was like, you are like, I know this gets tossed around a lot, and maybe it's insensitive as well. The spirit animal of this podcast, a guy who's like, I don't even know how to articulate the problems, but I know that this guy is bad and must die.
We all have our lists. Make of that what you will. Ligers, you know what to do.
The reason I got distracted there is I was looking at Owen Hayes article, and he's explaining it. Maybe this was in the statement and I skipped over it. As part of my salary package, I was provided with shares. The conditions attached to these shares meant I was unable to sell them until 2021, 6 months after the company had gone public. I was like, and he goes, throughout the course of the past year, Palintir's support for the Israeli military has markedly increased. Meaning that, it wasn't non-existent before. In January, the company signed a new strategic partnership with the Israeli Defense Ministry. I should have sold my shares then, and I deeply regret that I did not. They go, why didn't you sell them? I mean, the reason you didn't sell them is because you're, rubbing your little fucking mitts together. You didn't give a shit.
He's like my good pal, the Krampus. I mean, he's not my pal. He's the opposite. He's like an enemy or something. Or maybe like Jack Frost in the Santa Claus 3. Who's like the villain. He's the guy who's against Santa Claus. Me. Whichever is the bad man. That's who Owen Hayes is. Oh, anyway, let's do a big topic change. You said you were just reminded of something?
Because I was just reminded of last year when the Dublin riots happened and people really gave a shit, and they're like, Foot Locker got fucking kicked in. Neil Richmond, we need to parachute you in to have a fucking cheeky pint at Grogan's to make sure people know that it's okay to come and spend your money in the town. And then on Sunday, I was in one of the Cat2 chats. They're like, a bunch of far-right guys have just broken into an accommodation centre in Athlone, and they were sending videos, and I was like, the fuck? So you're looking up RTE, nothing. Irish Times, nothing. Any of the news outlets, nothing. I was like, okay, I guess it's happening now. So they'll talk about it at some stage. 4 p.m. on Monday, the Journal puts out, hey, this happened. And then I was like, okay, what are RTE saying? Is it on the news? Are we talking about this? Nope. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a fuck about this. We were so scared. Protesters broke through guard barrier at Athlone Accommodation Centre. Okay, this is from the Journal. And then they go, I just wanted to read this bit basically where videos posted on social media show Gardaí trying to hold up railings against protesters only to find their lines overrun by demonstrators who then gained access to the grounds where people were staying. Athlone for All, a local group of volunteers which provides voluntary support to asylum seekers staying at the centre, described what took place as, quote, a disturbing development for the town. It called on local politicians to start pushing back against hatred being stirred up over the centre, which is located to the north of the town in the Lissy Swollen area. Does that mean anything to you? The group says that a number of social media accounts have been posting untrue and inflammatory information, including drone footage of the centre, with some increasingly calling for violence. Asylum seekers and locals supporting them had sought answers on why there had been no electricity on the site over the past 24 hours. Men told the Journal they were sleeping fully clothed with jackets in a bid to hold off the cold. The past number of days and weeks in Athlone have seen a series of incidents where asylum seekers and local volunteers were allegedly threatened and harassed by anti-migrant groups as tensions have increased over the accommodation centre. In one such incident, it is alleged that a man threatened a bus of international protection applicants with a hatchet.
Now this bit seems grossly inappropriate for the topic at hand. Why did I do this?
Like, and then you see their showers as well, and it's like black mold over absolutely everything. And it's like, no, the only thing you can do at this place, get an expert in. Only thing you can do at this place, burn it down, start again, salt the earth. There is nothing. I cannot fix this mold problem. It is, like, and they're living like that, and these people are like, how fucking very dare you? I want to kill you. We were so scared, one man said. When they broke into the camp, most guys ran back to the kitchen, to the canteen. Another man staying at the IPAS Centre, the IPAS Centre, told the Journal that security had hurried him and other men to the canteen after protesters got inside the grounds, locking the dining hall behind them. We could hear shouting, and then my friends said they thought we should leave. Then we heard that the protesters had broken inside, so we were rushed to the kitchen. From the window, we could see around 10 or 15 guys who got through and were running around. The man said he has been fearing for his safety and that of his friends since coming to Athlone. We aren't safe here. We aren't accepted in this town. I have a fear that if I go into the town centre that I could be attacked. They don't think we're human. So, like, another thing is that the article goes on to mention is basically any time that they show up in the town, if they go in to buy anything at a shop, the shopkeepers just won't serve them. They just walk away. And the guards here anyway have the Garda statement said that inquiries into all of the circumstances surrounding this incident are ongoing at this time. There is a constitutional right to the freedom of assembly and freedom of speech, subject to statutory provisions. An Garda Síochána respects the rights of citizens to exercise their constitutional rights and to carry out peaceful Why are insane? Like, compare that. Like, just to compare that with what happened in the wake of the Dublin riots. Do you know what I mean? What did fucking Drew Harris say again about the fucking? He called them thugs or hooligans or anything like that. Do you know, like the idea of like the guards just going. Their constant refrain is like, well, we respect your right to Like, even when their own guys are getting got, that's what they're saying.
ACAOTNL. All cops are on the naughty list.
And then, like, I was just thinking about this recently because during the debates and stuff, people are like, people don't feel safe in the city. There's a rise in rural crime. All of this stuff is happening. And it's like, we read an article as well from the Irish Examiner where it's like, I saw a guy go into a shop and steal a pack of skips. And that's why I think we should bring back public hanging. All of that stuff is like, that's crime. But the stuff where a bunch of far-right racists break into an accommodation center. That's not like, oh, there's a worrying trend. Like, that's not considered part of the same thing. The only thing that happens is if it affects anybody's ability to exchange money for trinkets. Not even like goods and services. I'm talking about just a decent pair of shoes, that'll last you like 3 months.
Obviously, when you meant decent, you just meant a kind of popular brand pair of shoes, and I'm glad I was here to correct the record, because anybody listening back to this in the edit would be sort of frustrated, because I guess a decent pair of shoes would imply that you do not need to buy another one in 3 months' time. But again, we all understood what you meant. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Wow, Santa. Thanks for your help.
Is that it?
Well, it was all that was salvageable, and I just wanted to make sure that Athlone thing got out, because I didn't really see anyone else talking about it.
Fair. Even though it was incredibly tasteless.
Most of the rest of the episode was just us watching the Saw Doctor's side project reggae band called Too Much for the White Man. Proved to be less insensitive than we hoped.
They didn't even put on a voice.
They didn't even put on a voice, no.
So that's all people can expect from the Ligers before Christmas?
No, you can expect an episode about Syria with our Middle East correspondent Zainab Lotfi. That's like 2 hours. I'm in two minds. Will I put it on the Patreon entirely, or will I put 1 hour before the paywall and then 1 hour after? I don't really know. Maybe it's Christmas. Maybe it should go up all free. I don't know. But so this there will be more Ligers content before Christmas, to answer your question, Santa Claus.
Oh, and then you have your New Year's stream on 31st of December, 11 p.m. on twitch.tv/Celtic Ligers, where we can expect guests and goofs to ring in the new year by looking at the one gone by.
Yes, Santa, thanks for reminding me.
Now, I've just been given permission by that skinny turd Simon Harris to enter Irish airspace, so I must be off. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa. Thanks again.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Control, mysterious aircraft identified alongside Israeli munitions shipment, seeking instruction. Permission to engage. Received.
Oh my God! Oh